The world of poetry lost a radiant soul on July 14, 2025, when Andrea Gibson, Colorado's poet laureate and a fearless voice for the marginalized, passed away at the age of 49 after a courageous 4-year battle with ovarian cancer. Their death, confirmed by their wife, Meg Falley, in a heartfelt social media post, sparked an outpouring of tributes on platforms like X, where fans, poets, and literary figures like Joseph Fasano and Sarah Bareilles shared their grief and gratitude for a poet whose words touched hearts and changed lives. Andrea's work, raw, tender, and fiercely honest, explored gender identity, love, mental health, and mortality, offering solace to those navigating queerness, illness, or the search for self. Their life was a testament to living authentically, loving deeply, and creating art that bridged divides. Today, we're diving into the full story of Andrea Gibson, their cause of death, wife, age, family, net worth, lifestyle, and biography. A journey through a life that burned brightly and left an indelible mark on the world. Andrea Gibson was born on August 13, 1975, in Calais, Maine, a small coastal town near the Canadian border where the rhythm of tides and the simplicity of small-town life shaped their early years. Raised in a Baptist household alongside their sister Laura, Andrea grew up in a world of religious conservatism that both grounded and challenged them. As a child, they turned to poetry to process emotions they couldn't yet name, questions about gender, love, and identity that felt out of place in their traditional surroundings. Picture a young Andrea, sitting in their bedroom, pen scratching across a notebook, capturing the quiet beauty of Maine's rugged coast while wrestling with a sense of self that didn't fit neatly into the binary world around them. They were a state basketball champion at Calais High School, their competitive spirit and energy hinting at the fire they'd later bring to the stage. After high school, Andrea attended St. Joseph's College of Maine, studying creative writing at a Catholic institution, where they came out as queer at 20, a pivotal moment that would shape their poetry and their life. In a 2017 essay for Out magazine, they wrote, "I am happiest on the road / when I'm not here or there, but in between," a line that captured their genderqueer identity, neither fully boy nor girl, but a beautiful spectrum of self. In 1999, Andrea moved to Boulder, Colorado, a city that would become their creative and spiritual home. It was at an open mic night at Denver's Mercury Cafe that they discovered spoken word poetry, a medium that felt like a lightning strike to their soul. They dove into the poetry slam scene, their performances blending vulnerability with a revolutionary edge. Andrea became a 4-time Denver Grand Slam champion and, in 2008, the first winner of the Women of the World Poetry Slam, a milestone that catapulted them to national recognition. Their poetry was a tapestry of personal and political, tackling gender norms, LGBTQ rights, mental health, and social justice with a voice that could break your heart and ignite your courage in the same breath. Poems like The Nutritionist, which became one of the most shared queer poems online, and Swing Set, which explored gender identity with tender defiance, resonated with audiences who felt seen in Andrea's words. They cited poets like Sonia Renee Taylor, Derek Brown, Anis Mojgani, Patricia Smith, and Mary Oliver as influences, but their style was unmistakably their own, a mix of soft confession and electrifying truth. Their performances, often accompanied by acoustic guitar or ambient music, were described by comedian Tig Notaro as having the pure essence of an old-school genuine rock star. Andrea's body of work is a legacy in itself. They published 7 poetry collections, including Pole Dancing to Gospel Hymns in 2008, The Madness Vase, Pansy, Lord of the Butterflies, and their best-selling You Better Be Lightning, which won the 2023 Feathered Quill Book Award and a 2022 Independent Publisher Book Award Gold Medal. Their spoken word albums, Yellowbird, Truce, Flower Boy, and Hey, Galaxy blended poetry with music, creating immersive experiences that felt like conversations with a friend. In 2018, they released Take Me With You, a book of quotes and phrases that distilled their wisdom into pocket-sized truths. Their poem Love Letter from the Afterlife, written in 2023 for those grieving during the holidays, offered comfort with lines like, "Dying is the opposite of leaving. I am more here than I ever was before." Andrea's work wasn't just art, it was activism. For a decade, they performed with Vox Feminista, a radical feminist performance group, and spoke at Take Back the Night events, using poetry to advocate for queer rights and mental health awareness. In 2023, Governor Jared Polis named them Colorado's 10th Poet Laureate, a role they embraced by bringing poetry to schools, libraries, and correctional facilities, amplifying marginalized voices and fostering emotional resilience. Andrea's personal life was a beautiful reflection of their poetry, full of love, chosen family, and fierce connection. They were married to Meg Falley, a fellow queer poet and spoken word artist, whom they met around 2015. Their relationship, rooted in shared art and mutual support, blossomed into an engagement in 2022. Together, they co-founded Stay Here With Me, an online community promoting art and suicide prevention, a cause close to their hearts as Andrea openly shared their struggles with anxiety and mental health. Their love story was captured in the 2025 Sundance Film Festival favorite Come See Me in the Good Light, directed by Ryan White, which followed Andrea and Megan through Andrea's cancer journey. The film, featuring an original song by Andrea, Sarah Bareilles, and Brandi Carlile, won the festival favorite award and is set to air on Apple TV Plus this fall. Andrea's family extended beyond Megan to include their parents, their sister Laura, her ex-girlfriends who remained close, and their 3 beloved dogs, who were by their side in their final moments. Their chosen family, dozens of friends who gathered in Boulder to say goodbye, spoke to the community Andrea built through love and vulnerability. Andrea's battle with ovarian cancer, diagnosed in August 2021, was a defining chapter of their life. After a radical hysterectomy and chemotherapy, the cancer recurred in 2022, forcing them to cancel a planned tour. Yet, Andrea faced their illness with the same openness they brought to their poetry. In a 2023 YouTube video with Style Like You titled How Cancer Transformed My Crushing Anxiety into Boundless Bliss, they shared how their diagnosis dissolved lifelong fears, saying, "The worst thing I could imagine happening, happened, and there was almost this relief." They wrote about mortality with unflinching honesty, turning pain into poetry that helped others face their own fears. Their 2024 poem, The Life-Giving Benefits of Befriending Our Mortality, reflected their belief that embracing death could deepen life's joy. In a 2024 interview with Ms. Magazine, Andrea spoke of cancer as a teacher, saying it came on behalf of my spirit's evolution, a perspective that guided them through their final years. They continued performing when possible, including a 2023 show at Denver's Paramount Theater with Tig Notaro, where the audience felt like family, as fan Hilary Deck described to the Daily Camera. Their final public appearance was at Sundance in January 2025, where they admitted they hadn't expected to live long enough to see the documentary's premiere. Andrea passed away peacefully at their Boulder home on July 14, 2025, at 4:16 a.m., surrounded by Megan, their family, friends, and dogs, having lived, as Megan wrote, a fuller life than most could in 100 years. Andrea's net worth is difficult to pin down, as their focus was on impact over wealth. Estimates suggest a range of $500,000 to $1 million, drawn from speaking engagements, where they charge $10,000 to $20,000 per event, book sales, and album royalties. They turned down corporate sponsorships to remain independent, a choice that kept their work uncompromised. Their financial success was secondary to their cultural influence, as their poetry reached millions through platforms like Button Poetry and Substack, where they shared reflections on life and illness. Andrea's lifestyle was rooted in Boulder's creative community, where they lived simply in a home filled with books, music, and the presence of their dogs. They found joy in teaching workshops in high schools and correctional facilities, gardening, and quiet moments with Megan. Their activism extended to mental health advocacy, performing at suicide prevention events, and supporting those with terminal illnesses through their words. Their poem, The Nutritionist, became a lifeline for many, shared widely for its message of self-acceptance. The tributes following Andrea's death reflect the depth of their impact. Boulder Bookstore posted on X, "We're heartbroken, their words spoken in our ballroom were a gift." Writer Cheryl Strayed and Elizabeth Gilbert shared how Andrea's poetry changed lives, while fans like Linda Williams-Stay, whose transgender son Aiden credited Andrea with saving his life, spoke of their transformative power. Stay, who also battled cancer, told AP News that Andrea's performance in St. George, Utah, for the LGBTQ community was life-changing, giving hope to queer youth in conservative areas. Colorado Governor Jared Polis called them truly one of a kind, noting their ability to connect with diverse audiences. The Sundance Film Festival's Instagram tribute described Andrea's story as a profound testament to the enduring power of love, art, and resilience. Their work, available on Substack, Button Poetry, and in their books, continues to offer solace, with Come See Me in the Good Light ensuring their story reaches new audiences. In August 2024, Andrea received a fellowship from the Academy of American Poets to develop an anthology of Colorado poet laureates, with proceeds supporting the position's future. Andrea Gibson's life was a masterclass in courage and authenticity. They were a poet who didn't just write about love, loss, and justice. They lived those truths, turning their struggles into art that healed others. Their genderqueer identity, embraced long before it was widely understood, made them a beacon for those navigating their own identities. Their openness about mental health and cancer gave others permission to face their fears. As they wrote in You Better Be Lightning, their words were a call to be just as you are, a message that resonated with everyone from queer youth to cancer patients. Their final words, shared by Megan, were, "I fucking loved my life," a declaration of a life lived fully, even in its brevity. At 49, Andrea left behind a legacy of poetry that will continue to comfort, challenge, and inspire. Andrea's story is a reminder to live with fearless honesty, to love without reservation, and to find beauty in life's hardest moments. Their poetry was a bridge between fear and courage, pain and joy, life and death. Whether you found them through a poetry slam, a book, or a quiet moment when their words met you exactly where you were, Andrea Gibson's voice will linger. Their life invites us to embrace our own stories, to speak our truths, and to hold space for both grief and gratitude. If Andrea's words have ever carried you, if their courage has inspired you, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's keep their poetry alive, sharing their light with the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Andrea Gibson. Until next time, keep listening, keep loving, and keep poetry close.